questions. It's so cool that it's June the 4th, and we got people in our Patreon group, and they're still firing questions at the chat and at the show, and kind of keeping you guys involved. And these are great topics too. If you want to join our Patreon community, just go to patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. You'll see questions for the show. It's how you get your questions here on the show. It works just like a super chat on YouTube. You can go that route too if you don't want to sign up on Patreon, but just a way that you can support the channel and get your voice heard as well. Paul Smith in the Patreon group said, based on playoff history since 1970-71 season, there is a 46% turnover of playoff teams. Last year, that percentage was 29% with only 4 teams turning over. So I'm thinking across the entire NFL, more recently, there were only 4 teams that made the playoffs that dropped out of the playoffs. Is that how you guys are reading that stat there as well? Is that how we're on the same page, right?
I think so.
He said that's the 5th time under 30% in that same time period. If this reverts back to 46%, then there will be 6 new teams in the playoffs this season. Which teams do you see fall out of the playoffs from last year, and what teams will replace them? It is hard for me to find more than 2 or 3 teams, but history tells me something different will happen. Why don't we meet in the middle there? Okay, if we said it would be a 4-team turnover, but it's normally 6 teams, let's go with the 4. 4 will be okay. If you guys want to hit 6, that's fine too. What I did was I attached here a couple of images, and just for quick reference, here is how the NFC resulted last year. Okay, so obviously
playoffs. Don't talk about.
Starting with the 1 seed, you got the Detroit Lions, 2 Philadelphia Eagles, 3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 4 LA Rams, 5 Minnesota Vikings. I already got one of my teams. 6 Washington Commanders, 7 Green Bay Packers. Okay, so those are the 7 teams that made it in the NFC. Since the Packers are in the NFC, and then we'll jump over to the AFC in a minute. Let's start here. If you had to pick, let's say, if we're going to go with between 4 and 6 teams, let's say 3 teams from each conference. Okay, let's do it that way. All right, Emilio, I'll start with you. If you had to pick 3 teams out of these top 7 that are not going to make the playoffs this year, based off the limited knowledge we have of those teams, obviously we cover the Packers mostly here. Who do you think they'd be? And if you can only come up with one, name that one. What's the top one that comes to mind?
So 3 of the ones that have already made it do not make it next year. I would say Minnesota and LA Rams would be my 2 off the bat. But if I'm going for 3, I might as well throw Tampa in there, because I really think that, with that Rams division is going to be kind of tough there, and if Tampa doesn't come out and ball, I think that division's a little open too.
Yeah, Tim, do you want to go now, or would you like me to go? He's off screen. Don't worry about Tim if you're busy, man.
No, we're all good. Boring answer. I agree with Emilio. I think maybe the shot in the dark, honorable mention, possibly Detroit. Scumbags. I hate them. Can't stand them. They've got
no bias whatsoever.
New OC and new DC, right? There's no guarantees in this league, right? So I would probably pick them, but I think Emilio's right. I would go Vikings, Rams, Tampa, and then if I had to pick a 4th, possibly Detroit. Probably doesn't make it. I think Washington is surging, man. I really do. I think the Commanders, they might be the 5, 6, or 7 seed again this year in the playoffs.
Yeah, for me, the first team that came to mind was definitely the Minnesota Vikings. And the main thing for me there is the quarterback position, right? You got a first-year starter. The amount of folks that think they're just going to be just as good as they were last year, and I'm not talking about Viking fans. I'm talking about national media guys. I'm like, so quarterback y'all are that sold on J.J. McCarthy? Like, that's mind-boggling to me. Now, the L.A. Rams, you look at the record and you think either them or Tampa, but I don't know, man. I'm kind of high on Tampa. I think they're an ascending team. I don't look at that team and go, man, they're really old. They're liable to hit the wall. It kind of feels like Baker Mayfield hit his stride last year, and they'll probably continue that. But the L.A. Rams, I think they still got Stafford. They added Devontae Adams, right? They already have Puka Nacua.
Secondary is rough, though, Clay. Their
secondary is what you said?
Second, and if Jalen Ramsey goes,
Gotcha.
they're going to be in rough. That was my only kind of pushback on it, where like, because I could see Seattle maybe taking a step or something, or
that's what it comes down to. We're basically talking about the NFC West, aren't we? That's
right.
What
yeah.
So who would be most likely to win the NFC West, the LA Rams or the Seattle Seahawks?
Right.
Possibly the Cardinals, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, the Niners could bounce back too. So I hope it doesn't happen. I hope they sink on out of sight, but you know how that goes, man. And I've been very vocal about Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy's a damn good quarterback. And I know most Packer fans disagree with me. That's totally cool. But if you start right there at the most important position at quarterback, who has the best quarterback in the NFC West teams, right? So let's start it off with, like we said, the LA Rams, Matt Stafford, who's won a Super Bowl, right? Mm-hmm. Still playing at a pretty good level, right? The next one will be the Seattle Seahawks, their quarterback, Sam Darnold, okay? So you got Matt Stafford, Sam Darnold, you've got Kyler Murray, and then you've got Brock Purdy. If I were to rank the quarterbacks I just listed off, it would probably be Matt Stafford, Brock Purdy, or Brock Purdy, then Matt Stafford, right? They're the top two. So I would probably have to go with either the LA Rams or the San Francisco 49ers winning that division. That's the way I would go. So, again, the point of this segment wasn't to like, all right, let's all make our concrete predictions. Just let's have a conversation about it. I thought it was a fascinating topic brought up by Paul. So.
Yeah, I think the NFC West is going to be kind of up for grabs this year, and obviously ours is as well. But I'm kind of excited to see what happens over there.
Yeah, for sure. Let's hop over to the AFC real quick, and I don't want to spend a whole lot of time here because I know people aren't too interested in it, but going from the seeds 1 through 7, Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills, Baltimore Ravens, Houston Texans, LA Chargers, Pittsburgh Steelers, Denver Broncos. All right. So if we were to say 2 to 3 teams would drop out of those top 7 there, what comes to mind for you, Tim? I'll let you go first this time if you want to. There's a team just jump off the page to you here?
No, I would say 0. All that's going to change is the seeding. Maybe
people shuffle around.
I guess Cincy and Indy maybe, maybe bounce a team like Denver or somebody. I don't know, I'm not sure. But to me, I think the AFC is it's tougher to predict. I feel like those are probably going to be your playoff teams again.
Yeah, and for me, Emilio, I think Pittsburgh, if Aaron doesn't sign there, then their quarterback is who's that knucklehead that got the helmet bashed over? Mason Rudolph.
Yeah,
that their starting quarterback as it sits right now because they let Justin Fields walk. Right. I know it, man. That was
one that got the helmet bashed over.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett, right? Or not Rock'em Sock'em, but what's the thing where you got the little mole or whatever jumping up your whack-a-mole, right?
Whack-a-mole.
Yeah. Like the old whack-a-mole there.
I think you're right, Clay. I would have picked Steelers popping out to me, and then I would say probably Houston, and then I would probably say Chargers if I had to, just because I don't think Baltimore and Lamar's going anywhere. I don't think Bills and Josh are going anywhere. Kansas City, possibly, but I'm still not sure on that. And with Denver, I think they might be climbing more than anything.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be dropping out. I really do think Sean got them going last year.
Yeah, and you think a first-year quarterback, rookie quarterback last year, he's going to be even better this year, I would imagine. Right. So, yeah, for me, it would probably be Pittsburgh dropping out. Now, even if Aaron is the quarterback, look, I'm not going to sit here and kid myself, and say that Aaron is playing MVP level Aaron Rodgers football, right? That was not the case. However, he's not as bad as the haters would lead you to believe.
Yep.
They would definitely be a better team with Aaron instead of Mason Rudolph. However, last year they had Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. So I think we would all agree Aaron would be an improvement over them. So you would think they could probably hold off the Bengals, although Bengals got some problems too, man. They really do. Like when you look at their first-round picks holding out, Trey Hendrickson, they pretty much screwed him. They told him last year, next year we're going to give you a new contract, and now they're just not even returning his phone calls. So it's like that's your best defensive player too. So I don't know, man. You
almost feel like Indy has a better chance of squeaking in, right?
Yeah, possibly, right? And they got what? Didn't they sign Daniel Jones? Am I thinking right? I think they signed Daniel Jones.
I believe.
Yeah.
They still got Anthony Richardson,
Yes,
but
they
it's
did.
just Anthony Richardson's one of those guys that he's built like a Greek god, but that dude, I'm telling you, I was very, very critical of him coming out of college, and I usually ain't like that with rookie because anything can happen. But I was like, what is the hype on this dude? And the way I like to look at those mobile quarterbacks is I like to say, okay, if you're trying to convince me he's a good quarterback, right? Yes, he's got that. If you remove the scrambling ability, where would you rate him? You'd rate him at the bottom of the league.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I was listening to I think it was the All 32 pod. He was saying Anthony Richardson. I think it was Anthony Richardson came out. He only had 2 buttons on the controller: scramble and deep ball. Like, I mean, he's one of those where like you're getting the snap Clay in Madden, right? Give me the right trigger. I'm just bootlegging out to the right side. I'm seeing what opens up. Okay.
yeah, I'm with you.
But
I'll
mean,
tell you
what
one
about-
AFC team that we're probably not going to see in the playoffs is
Duval.
Tim,
I was-
they got an uphill battle, don't they, man?
I
4
was
and
just
13.
about to hit you with that one, Tim. I was literally clicking it.
Shout out to the Jacksonville Jaguars making the cover of Madden with Saquon doing the reverse hurdle over them. Now they're probably not going to have the logo on there, but the cover of Madden 26 has got Saquon doing that reverse hurdle. Of course, you go back and look at the app; it was Jacksonville. Of course, it was
Yeah.
Jacksonville.
it wasn't Savage, was it? Who was it? Who was the
That's a
player?
great question, Tim.
You
That
got to
would
look
not
up the
surprise
jersey
me.
number.
That wouldn't surprise me one bit, man. Anything else on this topic, guys? Again, I thought it was an interesting question there from Paul. And normally we don't hit this type of stuff, but hey, he's a member of the Patreon group and appreciated the question there. Anything else on there? We good?